Hey babe, what you doing?
I am working on a couple of things. A differential.
Oh.
Let me show you what I'm doing.
Oh, is this Bill's?
Yep, this is out of his Cobra.
Okay.
So
That's a tool that you made.
this is the tool I made. So I had to separate the case to get the differential out, which is over here.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I've got it covered up because I'm also doing other things, making a mess. But yeah, so I made a tool. I'm going to be putting 410 gears in that, which is in this box.
Okay.
These are the bearings. These are the gears over here.
Ah, yeah. Oh, heavy. All the gears.
Bearings and shims and stuff in here. So yeah, that's that project.
What is this out of?
He's bought a Cobra convertible, and it needed some engine work and some other things, but he wanted to change the gears.
Okay.
And I've done rear diffs before, but not an independent rear diff that's aluminum. So I did not know that we had to split or stretch the case. So I had to make this tool, which worked.
And that's all stuff you bought from Tractor Supply?
Yep, Tractor Supply, and then I modified it to work.
Okay.
But I'll have to do that a couple times to put it in and out to get all the backlash and preloads and everything set. So that's that. Okay, today we're going to make a case separator. I got this piece of channel, we'll call it C channel. I'm going to use this to, well, I'll show you close up, but I'm going to cut this down, use it to bolt onto the case, and then I've got these guys I'm going to put together on one side, bolt it together so I have basically a big C shape with these bolted together. And then on the other end, I'm going to use the cold spring compressor, but backwards. And we just need to spread the case enough to pop the carrier out. So I'm going to do that. I did get my pinion spacer. This is so I don't have to use crush sleeve. Open that up and show you. You can use a crush sleeve, but this makes it more precise. You just keep I got shims, so you just put some shims behind it till you get the right depth, and then we don't have to worry about crushing it. Once we set our preload, our pinion depth, we can set our preload, and we won't have to worry about that. So you can use a crush sleeve, you can torque it down till you get so much turning resistance. If you go too far, then you got to start over. I got plenty of crush sleeves, so I could do that, but this is only $19.60, and this will make setup a lot easier. Then I can take it apart and back together as many times as I want and not worry about trying to maintain the crush sleeve without squishing it some more or whatever. So that's that. All right. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way here, and we'll get started making us a. All right, the first thing I think I'll do this guy off the workbench and cover him up so I don't get any grinding material in it. This is the 8.8 aluminum case from a 99 Cobra. I don't remember what year Cobra. The Cobra without the supercharger, the new Edge Cobra without a supercharger. So whatever year that is. I'm going to cover that up. The blanket. That way we keep all of the metal shavings and stuff out. Alright, so I'm going to cut this guy in half. Or, I don't know. I guess half. This is, I'm going to need at least 14 inches. I could go, this is 36. So I could just split it in half. So maybe 18 inches. Yeah, let's split it in half. All right. This guy, I think, has a pretty dull blade in it. Let's see if it'll work. If it will, great. If not, then I'll use the death wheel and an abrasive cutoff wheel. Alright. That worked. It is a little dull, but it worked. Alright, well, let's deburr these guys a little bit. Alright, we got our 2 plates. I'm going to drill some holes to bolt it to the case, and then drill some holes to build metal pivots on. So I need to mark where the, I have to bring the case back up here just to get some measurements. All right. So I want to show you what I'm doing here. This is the differential, so I'm going to drill holes. Got some stainless bolts here in the case on both sides, so I'll drill my holes, get this 2 plates set up on there, and then probably center that again just to give myself plenty of space. So 18 divided by 2 is 9. We'll put it center point is 9. We'll go off of that. This spacing is 3 1/8. I can't hardly see. And let's go in. We need enough room for the bolt head. So go in an inch, that's right in the center. Let me convince them I want it to be drilled right there. And I'll just clamp them together and drill them out. Over here, go for a little walk. I don't know if I have a place to put the camera. It'll stay there. All right. Pivot point. Eyeball it. All right, the bolts are in double shear. I've got 2 plates here. I'm gonna guess that should be strong enough. Slow this back down again. Let's see if this is gonna work. So I want to use this as a spreader. Instead of a puller. I need to push, not pull. Push, not pull. Push. I could. Yeah, that will work. Let me turn this guy sideways, and we'll use the jack. Utilize these. that. That should work. So I'm using these C channels to spread that apart and kind of pivot over here. Hopefully all I need is a few thousandths to get this spread out of there. So we're going to try this again. I got the stainless bolts broke, so I put grade 8 bolt in there, 2 of them. Kind of back where we were. I can wiggle it, but this side is not budging at all. I don't know. This thing might not work. I think this side's just stuck because we are moving on the top side. That would be a little bit loose. Wiggle it with the screwdriver. So it must just be stuck. There we go. There we go. Oh, bearing race and shim. All right. So, yeah, they're just gummed up a little bit. Clean all this stuff up. A little bit of crud in there. Now we can get her apart. There are no shims, just these spacers. There could be set this guy here. And tighten him up. All right. We got the case spread. It was just kind of stuck. Clean that out. Okay, that fits pretty well. Those do fit pretty snug in there. So even taking the pressure off of the case this way, these braces fit really snug in this surface. But now we can blow that apart, get the ring and pinion out. I'll do all that next, and we'll clean up this case. Let me get you in here. It's a little bit grimy still. But we'll finish taking her apart. But yeah, that worked. I am impressed. we're gonna take the seal out and the bearing race and all that stuff. But we got our pinion out of there. I can't tell what shim is on there. Ouch. Stay put. Here we go. Now she's coming. There it is. Okay. So we got the bearing and the slinger. Need to clean that up. Knock that brace out of there. That's the old seal. Jack up the housing. There, I think she came out. Yes, there it is. That is the bearing race for this one. And then I gotta flip it over and knock the other one out, and then we'll use the press over there to press them in, the new ones. This is a lot lighter with nothing in it. Thank you. Do you ever have too much stuff on your workbench? Okay. So we should be able to use this a lot easier. The other bearing race. Okay, so the housing is clean. I need to, or excuse me, not clean. The housing is removed of the old stuff. So clean it I need to do because it has some stuff in it. So we'll clean it up and get it ready to put back together. Okay, I believe she's ready to go back together. So that is where we'll go next. Okay, we got her pretty clean. I'll put my races in. I got one in here and one on the other side here to put in, and then we'll set up the pinion. So that'll be next. Okay, this is the new bearing and race for this side. I'm just cleaning it up. A little brake clean. We're going to press it in. I'm going to use the old one on the other side of it so that we can press it squarely. And that will, there's tools for this too, but this will work. I've done it. A lot easier than camera. Now I may have to do something here with the socket. Because I don't think that's all the way down. Needs to go down just a smidge more. So we'll put a big socket on there. It's 4x4 expander socket will work perfect. Just to make sure she's seated all the way. Let me see. You can see what's going on there. Okay. Yep. That's all the way. So that one's in. Now to repeat the process on the other side with the other one. Same kind of deal. We're going to have to span this across here. And then use a lot of spacers. The other bearing. That way it'll be square. Yeah, it's feeling pretty good. Pop that in there. I'm going to go ahead now and put the old race in there to make sure it goes all the way down. piece all the way in. Okay, feels like she's tight. Feels all the way down. Okay, good. All right, so we got the new race in there and the new race in there. Now we can begin setting up the pinion. All right, these are the pinion shims. Make sure I only got one. Turn this guy on. It's 10 thou. All right, so we're going to find the right combination here. It's 28. It's pretty close. 31. 30 and a half. 31 to 30 and a half. When I squirt these with brake cleaner and clean them, I might get 30. So got a little oil on them. $30 to 30 and a half. That's, I'm going to live with that. Okay. Also, need to clean the pinion gear off and on of the pinion. That way I can change the shims if I need to. I got to clean these styrofoam off of here. Styrofoam everywhere. Down in that little hole. Okay. Now, I think she's clean. So this will be our first setup. Now, I need to clean up the surface on the pinion because that bearing doesn't slide off and on, and it should. That's not a pressed on bearing. So let's just clean this with some emery. Okay, this took a little while, but Gotta go on exactly straight. There we go. So now that fits super tight, but will slide off and on, which is what we needed. Preload. Let me look. (16 to 28), and we are, don't touch that, right at 10. So just a smidge more. I was going to use the pinion spacer, but it says for it's 4 and 8.8, but it was too thick. There we go. For new bearings. Perfect. That, it's a little more one way than the other. So let me bring it in. I don't know if you can see this. Going this way, we are about 22. Going this way, we are about 15. So it's in spec. So we got the preload set. That's without the seal, right? And with my setup spacer, and I use the old pinion nut because I'm going to have to take this back apart most likely. But we will, now what we're going to do is move on to check pinion depth and backlash. Alright, I didn't think to record changing these, but basically take a die grinder, cut the cage off, and all the rollers will fall out. And then you've got a separator, if you can get it in there. This would go in there, try to capture that, what's left, the inner race piece. Then you use the press to get it off. It never works for me, so I also take the die grinder and cut a notch in it, and then I hit it, the inner race, with a chisel until I crack it because it's pretty hard and brittle, and then that will usually let me pop that off, and then I press the new ones on. So there's video on that if you guys want to see that on the interwebs. But anyway, that's kind of how that's done. All right, so new carrier bearings. Now I gotta put the ring gear on. And I'm going to use the original spacers, and hopefully backlash and pinion depth will be good. I tried to set both of those to what forward would have been. We'll see once we get it put together. So that's next. Okay, this is always fun. Try to get these started. This is kind of a slip fit as well. Not really pressed on. There we go. I'm going to Loctite these. But just want to make sure I have all of them. Thread lugger. And then this is the stuff for checking the mesh. So make sure the pinion depth is good. And of course we'll use the mic for the backlash. Okay. Okay, ring gear's on. Like I said, we'll torque it once we have final assembly. Now, the joyous fun part of putting it in and out of the case. Broke my socket on the pinion nut. So let's get the case back up here. We'll have to put our apparatus back on. Alright, my camera keeps shutting off and on, I don't know, but I'd gone the wrong way, so this time I took shim, or that time I took shim out, which was the wrong way, moved the pinion farther away, which is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to move it closer, so this time I added shim, so I'm not going to just film that over and over again, but we're going to go ahead and set it up with 50 thousandths. So I went 30, then down to 20 something, I don't remember, 22. So I'm back up to 50, or I'm up to 50. So I'm going to put it all back together, check it. So I'm not going to keep videoing all that, but we'll see when we get it all done. All right, I'm using an old bearing, and we're gonna press the new pinion bearing on. We don't want to press on the cage, so I'm using the race against race. Hopefully the camera is showing that because I'm watching the pinion gear. Okay, that was that. All right, we got our new seal in there. We're going to set the, we got the pinion on there, we got our shims right, everything's good. So we're going to use the new pinion nut, and we're going to set our preload for the last time. Everything's gonna fight me. What is the problem? There we go. I don't know. All right. It's hard to do with one hand, but we're getting about 16, which is pretty good. I'm gonna leave it alone. That's the preload. Now we'll check the backlash and the pattern again, but it should be good. I think I got it all set right. All right, I hope this is the last time I put this together. Backlash. Okay, so we got set to 0. Supposed to be 8 to 12. That is 8. Oops, sorry. That is 8. And we got a great pattern in the center this way and in the center this way. So she is all ready to go. I'm just gonna make sure everything's torqued to the final specs, and she's done. All right, we got her all done. Backlash set, mesh set, preload set, pinion depth, everything's set. She's good to go. The owner is gonna, I think, paint the diff cover, so we'll leave that off. But yeah, it's ready to go back in the car. Thanks for watching.